And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio and RallyPoint.com in White Plains, New York today, the commemoration of the October 1776 Battle of White Plains. Have a chance to talk with John Wright, who participated in the event today from Historical Art and Consulting. John, great to see you. Tell us about what were your impressions of the event today?
Well, it was a small, simple event. It went nicely because the weather cooperated with us, and it was a nice day because we got an opportunity to commemorate the actions of people 242 years ago or so who fought here. Many of them who died here, who gave or were willing to give everything that they had to create a new nation. And we are indebted to them, as we are indebted to so many people who have served the nation since then and still today.
I kind of look at this as commemorating America's first veterans, those who fought in the first year of our country to enable us to have freedom and to be able to be an independent country. Why is studying that era and knowing about soldiers and the Americans in the first year of the country so important?
It's important because it gives you a foundation of understanding of what had happened before you. I see hundreds of fourth graders every year doing programs at historic sites, and it is not something that is a useful information base that you're going to draw on every day, but you should have that foundation so that when it is appropriate, you can draw on it every day or any day that it works for you, because it gives you a greater appreciation for what the land was before us, what the people who lived on the land here were like before us, and that they were not afraid to give what they gave, which hopefully will translate to us that we won't be afraid to give the things that we have to give for the nation or our community.
Certainly, and you're affiliated with a number of historical programs in the area, with the Thomas Paine Cottage in New Rochelle and also St. Paul's down by Mount Vernon. Tell us a little bit about why you enjoy being involved with these organizations that commemorate and help us remember the history.
Well, it's a funny thing how it got started. I'm a professional illustrator, and I do historical illustrations because when I got out of art school, college level, it was the year before the bicentennial in 1975. And I thought, it's going to be a major celebration. Obviously, there are no photographs of the revolution. They're going to need artwork. And I went to a small show like this to find research so I would be able to create artwork that would give a correct impression. And wound up joining the organizations and becoming one of them. And now I've been doing it for nearly 45 years. So it has been a fascinating walk personally through history, going through historic sites around the nation here, into Canada, and even into Great Britain. And in fact, I've been honor guard and have stood closer to Her Majesty the Queen than you and I are standing together right now. So it gives some particular memorable events for me, and at the same time it creates vehicles that teach the public who come to watch and give them a greater appreciation for what has happened before our time, and to keep that in mind as we go forward and making the decisions that we wind up making that direct the nation that we live.
Is there a particular part of American history and the sacrifice and heroism of America's soldiers in the Revolutionary War period, which continues on to this very day, same sense of perseverance and service? Is there a message that you try to get across when you go to those fourth grade classes?
The message I give, I try to stay historical neutral. The history of the nation, it's a wonderful nation, but we have had and have still lots of blemishes, bumps, and blisters. And I think that all of that needs to be discussed in a fact-neutral way. The nation used to embrace slavery, which it no longer does. They used to do a lot of things that we no longer do. But you need to recognize that it's not so much the people were awful, terrible people at the time. It's the way people thought at the time. And you need to look at history and what happened in history, the way people in their time looked at it. And then you make a comparison with what we think of it today and why it's important for us to make the changes that we have made. But you must keep history. You don't rewrite history.
Absolutely. John R. Wright, Historical Art and Consulting, based in my old hometown of Pelham, New York. Great to see you here at the commemoration.
Thank you so much. You can find me online.
Okay, we'll pass your website address out. And this is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of America Legion Radio, rallypoint.com in White Plains, New York.